Well, hello again, everyone, and welcome to this next little snippet that we're bringing you ahead of the ABTA Virtual Convention. And I'm delighted to be joined today by Ian Henry, who is, of course, the owner of Ledger Holidays. Now, Ian is going to be appearing on a panel at the virtual convention this year entitled Towards a Better Future as One Industry. It's actually a panel I'm going to be moderating, so I'm very excited to hear what he has to say then. But we're going to have a little teaser right now. So welcome, Ian. And I guess first question really is what you think is the biggest challenge for travel in overcoming this coronavirus crisis?
Well, I guess at the moment, my opinion is no different to anybody else's. The inability to travel freely is clearly the biggest obstacle. I think at the outset of the outbreak, probably just local restrictions would have put people off in their own right. I think people have got used to travelling with different forms of restrictions, wearing masks and social distancing, etc. So whereas once upon a time you'd have thought that would stop people travelling, I don't think that would anymore. But it's the inability to travel freely and either into a country or certainly coming back to our country. Obviously, that's the most relevant one.
Yeah, I mean, just so much uncertainty, which obviously just really dents people's confidence. And that comes on to really a question I wanted to ask you around confidence, because this conference is all about rebuilding confidence. And I wonder what you think the key elements will be in rebuilding that sort of consumer trust, consumer confidence, and get them traveling again.
Well, obviously they've got to feel safe wherever they travel to. And I think my perception is that most overseas countries have applied rules and people follow them and operate with them. So therefore, I think that sort of gives people confidence to travel. People want to travel as well, obviously. That's a key component. But I think it's getting some consistency from our own government in terms of if it says something's going to happen, that it can happen. There's clearly a nervousness around, committing to travel and then travel arrangements not being able to take place, and then the uncertainty that goes with that of either rebooking or getting your money back, etc.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess, companies have got to adapt. I mean, we keep talking about adapting to this new normal, but we've got to adapt for now and for the future. And I wonder what you've done as a business to adapt. I mean, obviously everyone knows you made an acquisition during this crisis, and that's possibly helped you because it gives you a bit more domestic product as well as international product. But tell us what you've done.
Well, product-wise, everything we did as Ledger was European based. So clearly we've not been able to operate anything at all this year. Our tours run through France, and France went into its own lockdowns and then was briefly out of quarantine, but then back into it from a UK perspective. So that's prevented us from running any tours at all to Europe this year. And we're not anticipating running any until early next year if we're being positive about it. The Shearings acquisition has given us the opportunity to diversify our product range with UK-based product, but because of the nature of what had happened to Shearings, with it going into administration, hotels closing, it wasn't a question of just restarting that business straight away. We had to have a bit of a lead time to get there. As it happens today, as this has been recorded, it's the 1st of October, and our first Shearings departures travel tomorrow on the 2nd of October. And even there, we've had to adapt because we had some due to go to North Wales, which at the last minute can't go to North Wales. So whilst it is useful, you still feel like you're sort of being chased around a bit by the rules, and nothing's certain in life. But long term, it's obviously a good move for us to have a diversification of destinations.
Absolutely. All right. Well, listen, thank you for that, Ian. We could ask you lots more questions, and in fact, I will on the actual panel itself. So if you want to hear more from Ian Henry at Ledger and the rest of the panelists, and indeed the rest of the conference, then make sure you register at thetravelconvention.com. That's thetravelconvention.com. Register now. Thank you very much, Ian.
Thank you.
See you soon.